Hello everyone, today I will discuss about my second lesson plan. The topic for this lesson is about pollution. The grade I will teach is the third baccalaureate. The duration of my class will last 45 minutes and the proficiency level is intermediate B2.2. And the lesson plan designer is myself, Camila Neira Rodriguez. In my lesson plan, when I decided to plan my lesson, I was focusing first on the objectives, which are divided in 4 categories: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In the listening objectives, students will be able to identify new vocabulary related to the topic pollution. In the speaking objective, students will be able to speak about the consequences of pollution and what does it causes. They will be answering all the questions in the passive voice. In the reading objective, students will be able to identify new words and vocabulary from the learning topic, also using the passive voice grammar. And in the writing objective, students will be able to describe some solutions about environmental problems and what they can do to solve them. And they have to use all the new vocabulary that will be approached during the lesson. The second part of my lesson plan is about methodology and strategy. I would use different methodologies and strategies to approach my lesson with my students. The methodology I would use is communicative language teaching and the audiolingual method. And for strategies, I will work with the whole class, and it will be about the activities: listening, writing, and reading activities, and review of worksheet answer, and then pair work, which is about speaking comprehension and worksheet. Then I will begin the class always with an anticipatory set, which I will explain to students which things they are going to learn in today's class to enroll them into the topic. The anticipatory set is about that the teacher talks about pollution in our planet and the importance of taking care of our planet. Students will watch a short video about pollution and the consequences of not recycling and altering the environment. And I will make a small discussion. I will ask the students to take some notes in the video so they won't forget what they watched, and then they will be ready to discuss the topic with me. To start the class, in my main teaching input, I will start always my class with a warm-up activity. The teacher will begin the class with a small exercise related to the learning topic. The teacher will ask learners about pollution problems, and which will enroll the students into the learning process and help them to have a view of what they will aim. Then the teacher shows students the use of passive voice in the sentences. The teacher will write some exercises, will write some examples on the whiteboard, and students must take notes on their notebooks. For for this activity, I will use audiolingual method. Then teacher handles learners 2 worksheets, which they have to do the listening activity and complete the blanket space. And the next activity is about writing about some solutions to decrease pollution in the environment. And this activity will be about communicative activity. Then the teacher will walk around the class to see if students are addressing the learning topic and if they need some help. The teacher and learners will check the answers from the listening exercises and the teacher will ask the students to explain their answer, which will be used with the method of communicative activity. Then students will have some time to talk with his or her partner next to them and talk to each other about how should people work with the trash and avoid many environmental problems. Students will practice some speaking comprehension with the use of new vocabulary and grammar structure. Then, while teenagers are working, the teacher goes around monitoring the correct pronunciation of the students. Finally, the teacher will conclude the class by reviewing the topic briefly. The next part of my lesson is modeling. In this part, to begin the class, the teacher talks about pollution problems, and then she would like to ask the students about their opinions about the topic, to tell them in the class some things they know or probably they don't know. This part is really important because it'll help the students to analyze and to enroll the students into the topic, to help them understand what things they will address during the class. This part is really important because it'll help the students to really realize what they are going to learn, and it increases the ability for them to be awake and be interested into the topic. Then the guided practice, students will be actively practicing. They will have some new grammar and word review, which they all have been part. They will have to change and discuss the answers of the above activities, and finally they will be able to speak with his or her partner about pollution solutions. In the independent practice, it's very particularly this part because students are going to be able to work by themselves, and also they are going to be able to learn and analyze some parts of the things that they don't know and they know. I know that there are some teenagers who really can work by themselves, but there are other students who are having more trouble working by themselves, and they find it quite easier to work in a group. But I think for me to evaluate my students, it's very easily for me to analyze them while they are working by themselves. So students will address listening and writing activities by themselves. They will be able to listen and complete the activities from the worksheet, and then they will be able to write an argumentative essay about pollution and the damage of our planet. Students have to use the grammar and new vocabulary from this unit. To assess my students, learners will see some videos about pollution and the damage that it emerges in our planet. For me, it's very important that I'm showing the students at the beginning of the class a video about pollution, that they take some notes, because they already know that they are in some point in the class they will use some of the points that they wrote in the class, and they will need the information to be able to work later on. So for me, it's very important when students are able to just take some notes and never forget the information they saw, because it's very particularly that we will use it that later. To closing up and review and follow up, the teacher will ask the students to investigate and write some solutions to reduce pollution in our planet. They should write it on their notebook. And this activity is to work at home. Teenagers need to do their homework at home and investigate some solutions that can reduce pollution in our planet. And for me, it's very important that they just don't write bullet points. Instead, I would like to have some complete sentences, because I'm expecting more for teenagers. So I expect that they write complete sentences and some arguments about why is this solution good for our planet. Then, to close up the lesson plan, the teacher will ask the students some questions related to mystery topic to make sure that they have understand correctly the topic. Thank you very much.